Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I forgot to watch it the other day, so I'm gonna watch it. I watched it last night. I need to catch up on Orange County. So let's talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, y'all. The episode overall, the highlight of the episode was Mary and Jen, of course. All right, so let's talk about it. I hope everybody's doing well. I don't know what's going on with this camera direction. I feel like it's not in my face. Okay, here. That's better. Girl, you lie. I know my looks can be deceiving. Hey, come on, Maya. All right, we down here. Okay, so let's talk about it. Jen, they start off where they left off last week. Did I review it last week? That was, yeah, because they was at the table. They had the little dinner. Okay. So let me turn this down because I'll be wanting to dance. I would break out dancing. So Jen, they start off where they left off. Okay. Jen is doing too much for me. I overall think she's just doing the most. I think she's trying to intentionally look for a problem, to have a problem. I think that what I said last week, I still feel like that. Like she wants to have a problem with the only black woman in the room because she doesn't act like this with everyone else. And she does explain that she thought that her and Mary would connect based on the fact that they were both female minorities. Just two words that I just don't. But they were that, and that they grew up in Salt Lake City. And so she thought that they were going to be cool with each other. Jen says, I'm just going to say what everyone is thinking. And Mary says, girl, you're not going to, I would never say what you thought, or you could never think to say what I was thinking. No, because I would never say anything that you say or the things that you say. And she communicated with her eyes like, girl, you know what I'm talking about, and you know what you did. And it's odd that no one at that table said, Jen, at Whitney's party, you were out of order. So I know she was explaining how the reason why she acts the way she does is because she loves hard. In every situation that you have been in, from Meredith's party to Whitney's party to this display sitting at this table here, you have sucked the energy out of every single person so that all the attention has to be put to you, and all the attention was put to you not for good behavior, but for bad behavior. So what you're saying is, all your life, you have been provided attention based on bad behavior. And here is Mary telling you, girl, I don't respond to that. And you have a problem with it. You have a problem because I don't care how you grew up. You grew up, oh yes, okay, great. But you can't apply that here, and it doesn't work here. One day, how you grew up, you're going to come across a person who doesn't agree with how you behave. You've been rewarded for your bad behavior. That's what it sounds like to me. And people are just supposed to accept that? No, Jen, no. She said, stop doing your eyes like that. Stop doing your eyes. She didn't like when she was making eyes at her, but she was looking at her like, girl, you know what I'm talking about. And nobody said nothing or acknowledged Mary and the problem that she had with what Jen said and how inappropriate it was for her to say it in that environment. I can't believe nobody said that. And once again, all of the energy and attention is on Jen Shah, to comfort Jen Shah while she misbehaves. Girl, no, we grown out here. We're not doing that. I don't have time for that. It's toxic. We're not doing that every single time. And I was with Mary. I don't care. And Mary says, don't get ghetto. Girl, because don't you think you think we relate to each other, so I'm going to talk to you in that same way. Now you offended? Now, because you know what it is. Oh, people who say ghetto and hoodlum is used to demean you. I don't understand what you thought, and I agree. Okay, let me just go here. Three times during that exchange, Jen Shah made it a point to say that, I know Vladimir, whatever the guy's name was. What was his name? Walt. She called him Walter. His name was Walter. So that was kind of funny. But she was like, I know him too, and I know him too. You're not the only one who knows him. And then she said, and later she says, well, that doesn't make you better than me because we don't think the same. So Jen has in her head, and I believe when Mary said to Heather, it's a competition, and I think she has a problem with me because you think that by you telling everybody at the table that Mary doesn't like to go to convenience stores with niggas hanging in the front, and somehow you say that those are my people and you need to represent for your people. Why in the world would Mary be representing for niggas hanging out in front of the 7-Eleven? And why the hell would you say it in this environment as if somebody was going to be like, girl, don't nobody like to be in front of a 7-Eleven with a bunch of people, a gas station, or anybody. And for some reason, this is how I'm supposed to represent my people because you say that your cousins and whoever else is in your family is hanging out in front of the damn liquor store? No, girl. No, we're not all the same. And that's where you messed up. Mary says, I can't do this. And she says, open your eyes again to me one more time. And then Jen stood up. Girl, what are you doing? Like, you're doing the most. And that's when Mary was like, girl, I'm not scared of you. I loved it. I am not scared of you. Bye. Exit. See the door. Go. Bye. I'm not taking that. And I don't blame Mary. I'm not taking that. You're sitting up here mad at me creating this big to-do because I said I don't like the smell of hospitals. Yeah, I probably was shady, but I'm standing in my shade. But you're going to take it and make it to seem like I'm disrespecting your family. I screenshotted this tweet. Sometimes the only real issue I have with someone is that they keep trying to act like there's an issue between us. Some people will create, what do you have a problem with? Why do I make you so angry? What is it that brings all of this shit out? It's because you are competing with me. You are competing with me, and you got this black woman here with all this shit, and you think that she should speak up for the niggas hanging out in front of a liquor store. And somehow, some way, you again are offended by that, and you ain't even black. You're not black, Jen. And I think that's why, I thought we were going to, no. There's a whole different experience. They thought you were black. I'm black. So I don't know, just because, I don't know, we don't have the same experience, girl. That's just what it is. We just don't. She wants to compete against her. Anyway, Whitney was looking crazy. Lisa was cringing. She was like, everybody, I feel like Mary is upset because Jen Shah said that, and she's thinking that everybody thinks that of her, and we don't all think that of her. The fact that it's something as wild as it is of her marrying her step-grandfather, it's wild as hell. And Jen probably just thinks it's absolutely crazy. But the other things that you are creating from that to say that you have a problem, I don't know. I think it's weird. And then she started cussing at Mary, and Mary's like, don't cuss at me. And she was like, don't point your finger at me. And she's like, every time we get in a group with Jen, because Jen ends up walking out, every time we get in a group with Jen, we all are hurt. We all have expelled energy. We're all tired. The next day we're like, oh my God, girl, what happened with Jen yesterday? Every single time you are the center of attention, and you are the center of attention for bad behavior, like a fucking kid, like a child whose behavior has never been corrected. And so it continues, and you think that everybody is supposed to accept it, and they don't have to accept that. They just don't. Heather brings Jen back, honey, and she says, well, it was how you came at her. Well, Jen was talking and explaining that she misbehaves in her friendships because she cares so much. She acts out like a spoiled brat because she cares so much. Girl, what is that supposed to make me feel? You acting like a fool because you care so much? You need to figure out a different way how to display how you care for people, because it's sucking the energy out of the room, girl. It really is. And it's tiring. It's tiring. She was like, I was trying to explain myself. And Mary says, I didn't know that I couldn't interrupt, but you did say nobody interrupt. But you wanted to make it clear that, oh, I'm going to say what everybody is thinking. Don't speak for me, because I would never think, and you would never know what to say, because we don't speak the same. You act like the way that you act, and I act like this. You're acting out of control, and I'm not, and I don't have to take this. I don't have to take it. I don't understand why somebody is mad at Mary because she doesn't want to be verbally attacked and assaulted by Jen Shaw. And Jen Shaw can get up and walk towards Mary. Girl, what are you doing? Get out of here. You're doing the most. You gonna beat me up? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then Heather called Mary hypocritical. She was like, don't call me a hypocrite. Don't do that. And I just thought that once again, everybody was placating to Jen. I felt like nobody said anything to Mary or to Jen about her situation. Yes, you were explaining why you misbehave in public and act like a toddler in public. Yes, you were explaining that. And I told you sometimes when you're in this environment, your words can hurt people. Yes. But don't speak for me. There's no way. I'm just going to say what everybody is thinking. We don't speak the same. So there's no way that you could be thinking that you're going to say what I'm thinking. That's not going to happen. She called Heather two-faced. You're two-faced. I need to see which face. Heather was like, girl, what are you talking about? It was like, I love that Mary didn't raise her voice. I loved it. I mean, she can't really raise her voice, but I love that she was just like, you're doing all of this. What are you doing all of this for? It's too much. And once again, you're sucking the energy out of the room. And once again, what are we on? The fifth episode? Once again, we've had this explosion of mismanaged emotions from Jen Shaw. And it's all centered and directed at Mary, because Meredith was talking to Mary, because Meredith went to Mary's church. Now you get to holler that Mary is fucking her grandfather, and then we get to sit at this table and you get to say to us, well, I do this because I care so much. Well, don't nobody feel the love, girl, because when you leave, everybody's exhausted. So you need to figure out a way how to relate to women, because this is exhausting. We don't have time to be calling your husband every time to pick you up because you done came in, awkwardly. I mean, I'm over it. She was like, Walter is upset. You're not the only one who knows him. Okay. She didn't say that. She didn't say, I'm the only one who knows him and he's upset. While she was trying to deflect, yes, Mary was trying to deflect, but you coming back, it wasn't, why do you feel like you need to one-up Mary? I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it. I know exactly what she's doing. I'm not going to even say I don't get it. Whitney says, well, it was just the timing of it. And then Mary says, girl, you're 30. You don't know what you're talking about. That didn't even make sense. Mary says, I don't have to deal with hoodlums. And so now Jen's association with hoodlums are black people. And for that, she feels like Mary should represent her people by not saying the word hoodlum to demean her. Because in Jen's mind, a hoodlum is associated with a black person. That's what I got from it. Is she for real? Is she for real? I am. I'm for real. I'm dead ass. And she was eating and everything. I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute of it. You're black. You're black. Why would you say you don't want to get out in front of a 7-Eleven if there's black people hanging out in front of it? Bitch, who does? Who the fuck does? Who does? If it's a group of anybody hanging in front. Listen, just because I don't even want to get into it for Jen Shaw and explain that, because you clearly don't get it. You clearly don't get it. And you believe because you have brown skin, and you believe because you are married to a black man that you have this understanding. And you have this understanding, and that also Mary should have the same exact understanding because she is brown like you, but you're not black. She's black. So things that you are saying to her as, oh my God, no, bitch, you can't say no shit like that. You better not say that you won't get out if there's some niggas hanging out in front of the damn 7-Eleven. You can't say it. Mary can say it. So while you all up in arms and expecting everybody else to be up in arms at the table, they looking like, girl, neither would we. I don't know what the fuck. Represent your people. And then you felt that it was your place to remind her that she was black. Girl, get the fuck out of my face. And I'm with Mary. Get the fuck out. Get out. And she says, and I can't believe you would say that. And Mary said, and I meant it to this day. What you gonna do? You gonna beat me up? I'm talking about my people. You can't. But we see how you associate blackness and what you associate it with. I caught you, Jen. I got you, Jen. I got your number, Jen. Let her go and give me back my earplugs because I want them back. Woo! Hey, Heather. Honey, Heather is divorced and still a stay-at-home mom. They talked about going to church, and her kids really don't want to go to church because people in the church are judgy. And, you know, we're a bunch of sinners. And that was it. Meredith and Seth. Meredith is just upset with Seth because he wants to move to Ohio, to Canton, Ohio, or Akron, Ohio. That's where his job is taking him. He's in retail, I guess, like Ross or TJ Maxx or something like that. What's the other store? Burlington, those types of stores. So I guess he's in that business, which is the same business that Ramona Singer was in. I don't know if she still does that. But he was like, you'll love it there. And she's mad because they have moved a lot and she's making a lot. She's always got up and moved for his job. And she's at the point where she's like, I'm tired of moving. I want to stay here. This is not. And that's something like, I like this storyline because it's like, what do you do? What do you do? You've been married for 25 years. You've moved so many times for your husband's career. You have to uplift your business every single time, hire new people, do everything to follow him. I'm tired of moving. I don't want to move anymore. I don't want to move. You go do what you need to do. I don't want to move anymore. And if that means that we need to split this business up, then that's what we need to do. And I'm sure, to me, I feel like Meredith has somebody on the side. And I feel like that man's intuition is on point. It was just the way that she was standing in the bedroom, you know, with her robe on, and he was packing his stuff. And then he was like, you know, do you need some space? You need some space? All right, you need some space. And she was like, I don't disagree with you. So he gets his stuff and she's like, I love you. And he was like, he started crying. And he was like, cause this is like 25 years. Like, what the fuck do you do? And like, you spent a quarter of your life with someone and now you're going to be single again and you're going to have to rebuild the same thing with somebody else, and you are clearly both very successful. It's not like you're leaving a 25-year unsuccessful marriage based on, foundation and, money and stuff like that. Business. They're both, own their own businesses. I'm sure it's very hard. Anyways, I spent too much time on it. Anyway. So I kind of am with Meredith on that, but I understand where he's coming from. I'm sure he's very sad about it. He was crying about it. And I do think 25 years is a long time, but does she have a point? I'm tired of moving. I don't want to keep moving. I'm tired of moving. I got to move every time, and we're moving for you, and it's an inconvenience for me. And I mean, how many times, that marriage is about compromising, about how many times do I have to do that? How many times are we going to do this in the next 25 years? Every single time you catch a new lead, we got to uproot all of our shit and move? No, that shit is crazy. That's tiring. Mary is with her husband, and she says, okay, so they show Mary and Jen at the same time talking to their husbands. And Mary is telling the story, Jen is telling the story, and Mary's just basically saying to her husband, what she said. And he was like, oh no, they can't do that. They can't do that. You have to, that's for us to do. That's for us to do. And I can understand, Jen is might be weirded out, and everybody might be weirded out. But if I'm supposed to be in this friend group with you, you cannot use the most sensitive thing in my life as ammunition if you expect me to trust you at all. You cannot do that. Part of building friendships is what? Expressing each other, talking about things, being vulnerable with each other. But if I share with you, and it's sensitive just on the mere fact that the man is her step-grandfather, and you're going to use that in a battle and then say it out loud in a group setting like that, I can't trust you. You are violent with my vulnerability. And all because I said you smell like a hospital? Girl, you smell like a hospital, but you're going to that's the first thing you come out the gate with is you fucking your grandfather? Girl, no. I'm with Mary. I don't ever want to talk to her again because we can't do that. So we can't do that. I don't know how the rest of the season is going to go. And, Mary's a pastor and probably has a forgiving heart. But bitch, no. You've crossed the line. You've crossed the line. As crazy as it is, you're supposed to be my friend. That's for somebody else to say. That's for an enemy to say. Or something. That's not the first thing you go for. I just don't. Yeah. She says she's toxic, a bad apple, and I'm done. She starts crying. And she explains that the shit is weird. It took her 2 years to figure it out. She had to pray on it, all this other stuff. Like I said, I'm just going by the story. I know y'all know all the tea. But I'm just going by what is showing us on this screen. Okay? Jen is talking to her husband. He's sitting on the phone, rubbing his eyes, looking like he is over it. She tells him about the 7-Eleven comment, the hoodlum comment, and he says, well, there is racism intraracially, and that people feel things about people within each other's race. And Jen is not stupid. She knows that. But you're trying to use just anything to create a problem with Miss Mary, honey. She says, well, I'm just going to kill her with kindness. I felt like Jen is intentionally miscommunicating and misunderstanding Mary. I think it's very intentional. Whitney and her brother talk about sending their dad to sober living. Henry has a party. Lisa Barlow and their son is bowling and stuff like that. And they talk about marriage and how sometimes you're just out of sync with your husband or with your partner, and how they really honor the idea of eternal marriage within their faith. Heather and Mary sit down. Heather says that she loves Mary and she's loyal to Mary and she can be her friend independent of Jen Shah, which is great. But she says, I think she has a problem that I have all this wealth and I'm black. Right, because immediately you feel like Mary should represent for the hoodlums in front of 7-Eleven. So you have a problem. I'm all in it. I'm all in it, okay? And then even Heather goes, I don't get it. Why would Jen have a problem with Mary having Chanel purses and being black? Why do a lot of non-black people have problems with black wealthy people? Why? Because in their minds, you're supposed to be hanging out in front of 7-Eleven. She's not at the top and she's not used to it. She has to be the best. She never apologized. She did not apologize to her, and nobody called her out on it. Everybody talked about it in the interview, but nobody called her out on it. Nobody said, Jen, I could see why Mary has some contention with you, because like Lisa said at the table, she's expressing all of this. She's expressing all of this, sorrow and empathy and care and compassion towards Meredith, and you sitting right there and you said something really fucked up to me in a public environment in front of a lot of people, and you still not gonna say sorry. But I'm supposed to understand this little hospital comment, and I'm supposed to understand why you misbehave in public, and that's how you show that you love people. I'm supposed to understand you, but nobody gets to understand how sensitive this subject is and how you used it as a weapon. Fuck Jen Shah. I said I was trying to give these girls a chance. Jen, you on your way out with me, girl. You on your way out with me. She was like, she burned a bridge with me. She burned a bridge with me, and I'm cool. So we're going to see what's going to happen next week. They come in contact with each other, and it looks like they start arguing again. Anyways, y'all, that's my time. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.